Welcome to the Reticle Up podcast, where I, Three-Gun Kenzie, will be interviewing competitive shooters, hunters, fishermen, archers, entrepreneurs, and outdoorsmen. Come learn with me as I interview people from all walks of life, in different disciplines, all across the world, from novices to professionals of all ages. No matter what, everyone has something they can teach you, so come join me on the journey. Welcome back to the Reticle Up podcast. So I've got Diego and Martin. They are a dad and son duo, and of course your amazing wife supports your son as well, but he's a junior shooter, going to be 10 this year. Is going to conquer IPSC matches, nationals. Guys, thanks for being on the podcast here.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us, Kenzie. It's our pleasure.
Absolutely. I'm excited to dive in here. So let's get started. Okay, so first question, obvious one I really want to ask. Martin, how old are you?
I'm 9 years old, and this year in November, I'm going to turn 10.
Ooh, that's a big year. That's so cool. Okay. So Diego, how did your family actually start competitive shooting? Were you first? Was it both you and Martin at the same time? Like, what happened?
Well, my dad was always a fan of guns. He always loved guns. He owns several guns all the time since I could remember. Mm-hmm. And when I was like 10, he started taking me to the shooting range, mm-hmm. but mostly to shoot your first shots and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And a little bit after, he took me to an Olympic shooting range.
Wow.
And when I was 13, I was already in the Olympic team of Guatemala, where I'm from originally.
Wow.
And I made like 12 years in the Olympic team. I went to some World Cups, Pan American Games, stuff like that. It was good. It was great. But in Guatemala, there's not such like an industry as here in America that shooting is a big conglomerate of businesses, and it's in a single word, it's awesome. So when I was 20 something, I finished the college. I graduated I'm an engineer, so I graduated from engineering. And then I decided to open a car repair shop with my dad. So I had to choose between both, and I needed to put a little time into the business. Mm-hmm. So we opened a car repair shop, and I quit shooting. But in the time that you quit, you always kind of come back a little bit, stuff like that, because of course there's so much time invested, and you love it, so you are going back and forth. And then when he was born, I decided to quit it for good. Well, I think that I even went to a Central American Games when he was already born. He was like 2.
Wow.
Yeah, and then after that, I really quit for good, and I never went to another match for many, many years. Then in like 4 or 5 years ago, my wife and him, we decided as a family to come to live to America because we have the opportunity to do it. Mm-hmm. So my wife and Martin, they came first for reasons that we needed to arrange everything. Mm-hmm. And they were here for 2 years. Then I came after. And in that time, I have to move all my shooting stuff from house to my parents' house. And he saw the trophies, the medals, and stuff like that.
Sold
and
them?
He started asking stuff. Sorry?
He sold them?
No. I have to move them from our house to my parents' house. When they kept some, and I had to throw away some because, of course. And then he started asking, "Hey, what's that?" I bring most of the ones that meant most to me. I bring them here. So he started asking, "What's that? What you were used to do?" Well, I started like telling him everything that I used to do and kind of pass the passion or something. And he started, "Hey, I want to shoot BB guns," stuff like that. So I said no, because I didn't want him to go all the process that it takes to be in a sport and build yourself. And it's a lot of sacrifices that you need to do to actually try to be competitive in a sport. So I said, okay, let's wait for a while and let's try some other stuff. And maybe you have another path that is not the sports. But then my dad came to visit us, and he started asking him for a BB. So my dad came to me and says, "Hey, Marty's asking me for a BB gun, but of course I need you to be cool with it." And I was, okay, buy him the BB. Oh. He bought him the BB gun, and he started shooting, and he was good, honestly. He was like 4 or 5, and he was shooting center a lot of times.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, but let's still know. He was in karate at the time. And he grew up. When he was 6, he started asking me to go shooting again. And I say again, no, let's try something else. So we tried to put him to do sparring, karate, stuff like that, to take a different path. And he didn't like it. He was, I don't want to go to karate. I don't like it. It's a pain. So, of course, he didn't do sparring anymore. And I said, okay, you know what sport is cool that I think you might like? Karting, like racing cars.
Yeah.
He tried too, and he didn't like it either. So he was like, I want to shoot. I want to shoot. So about that moment, it was so many years that he was asking for shooting that I talked with my wife, and I said, I was like, okay, maybe we have to buy a rifle to start. We bought a Smith & Wesson Victory, a Smith & Wesson M&P 1522.
M&P 22, yeah.
Yeah, and we started going to an indoor range to shoot a little precision and see how it was and everything with a bipod and scope and shooting paper targets. But he was good, honestly. He was like 10 yards, 25 yards, 50 yards, 100 yards, and he was hitting the target. And after 2 months, we ran out of. I mean, there's not much to do with a paper target when you are still, right?
Yep.
So when you're sitting and bench and all the stuff. So I had a friend that I met in an NRA instructor's course that I took, and he worked in Volusia County Gun Club. And he was like, come with us, shoot Steel Challenge. It's a great match. You can try it out. And it was my birthday the day that he actually invited me to go there. And I was like, okay, maybe I will go and give it a try. And I was thinking, should I get Martin's gun? Because at that point, I already bought him a Bolter P22.
Nice.
And he was already shooting pistol. He was
almost 7.
6 and 8 months, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I took his gun. We went there, and Greg is the Steel Challenge match director in Volusia Gun Club. And he was, do you think that he's safe with the gun? I'm 100% sure that he's safe, finger off the trigger, he doesn't turn around, stuff like that. Yep. Okay, he can do the match. And I was like, great, let's start. And he started doing Steel Challenge with me. And then we bought him a gun that suits better for the sport, a Victory SW22. Mm-hmm. And then with the 1522, he shot a little bit open, rimfire rifle open. Then Greg said with Gorka that they want to sponsor him, and they sponsored him. And we were training around 3-4 days a week, Steel Challenge. He started going up in the ranks, and then he was doing rimfire rifle irons, rimfire rifle open. He was doing rimfire pistol irons, rimfire pistol open.
Cool.
At the age of 7, almost 8, he started shooting a little bit of 9mm with a 6-hour P320. And he did here in Volusia County Gun Club, they have the Action Steel match, mm-hmm. which is something like USPSA, but instead of paper targets,
all steel. So fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. It's fun. And Manny gave him his first class, and he teach him a lot of stuff. Then Gorka gave him another class, teach him another stuff. And November last year, when he was already 9,
yeah,
you were 8 at the time.
Yeah, almost.
We decided to go only USPSA.
Okay.
So since November last year, we are just USPSA, all in.
So cool. Martin, what was that very first match experience for you like? What were you feeling at the time? Do you remember?
Yes, that first match experience, I was like, I like this. I want to do this. I like this a lot. I'm just gonna keep on doing it. Because that first day it was raining, so it was kind of, I liked it. It was a different experience for me, because I've always shot. Because at the time I've only shot at an indoor range, never shot out in wet conditions. So it was fun, a new experience, and I felt like I just had a lot of fun and that I just wanted to keep on shooting.
That's what I thought. Is it still fun for you today?
Yes, a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Going back, I don't want to lose this train of thought. Diego, what was your Olympic specialty? Like, what team were you on? What did you shoot? I'm curious about that background.
My specialty was rapid fire shooting, okay. Which is something like Steel Challenge. It's just that instead of steel, those are like electronic targets that kind of pretend to be paper targets. Mm-hmm. and you need to shoot in a specific part like USPSA, something that is like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Right.
and it's 27 yards, and you have it's many like strings. The first strings are in 8 seconds, then 6 seconds, and 4 seconds, and you do it just with one hand, your strong hand, and you need to start from low ready and shoot all the targets, 5 targets.
Wow. I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I'm sure you can. I have seen you shooting 3-gun. You can.
Yeah. So Martin, did those trophies like inspire you, or what made you so curious about shooting to keep asking? Like, where did that come from?
What made me curious about shooting was, first of all, when I saw my dad's medals, he was like, look, I have some medals from before when I was younger, and I was like, wow. And then I asked him what were they for, like, because I was wondering, and he said, oh, well, Olympic shooting. So then I started thinking about it after that, and after a few days, and then I asked him, and that's where it started. And then I kept on asking him because honestly, I felt like that would be the right sport for me, because I just wanted to follow in his path, and I also like the sport a lot right now and before.
It's really incredible. So how did you guys as parents kind of help? Okay, let me back up real quick. For people with kids, right? I don't think it's an age at all for when they can shoot, right? I've taught my nephew when he was 5. He was mature enough then to learn at least the rules and start out. So what was the process, if you could explain your process of firearms rules, BB gun, how you leveled up, taught all of that to a kid that could help other parents? Like, what did that look like?
Well, what you said is really important because sometimes a lot of parents come to me and say, hey, I have a X-year kid, a son that wants to learn to shoot. Do you think that it's okay for him to shoot at any age, or 7, 6, 9? And my answer is more or less the same that you just said, depending on how mature your kid is. Mm-hmm. Because there's kids that they have, let's say, 13 years old or something, but they are not mature enough to actually understand what they have in their hands at that moment.
Yeah,
it's fun. Guns are super great, but if, like everything else in life, if you don't use it the right way, it's not good. So I don't know. To be honest, when Martin grabbed the BB gun, it was pretty much natural talent. A lot of the percentage was natural talent, and he's really good at following instructions, which make it easier for me to actually start with the finger off the trigger. That was the first part that I really was concerned about. Finger off the trigger, even with the BB gun.
Yeah. And
he learned it really fast. Sometimes he grabs the stuff like a drill, and he has the finger on top of the drill. Yeah. So yeah, being like a parent, sometimes you make mistakes because you love your kids so much that you want to think only the best. But knowing where your kids actually are good and where they are not, it's key to know where they are ready to handle a gun.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
To know what I think that he's mature enough to have one, or to manipulate one, or to clean one, or to start the process. And you give him one, you let him try shot by shot, because at the beginning, when he started shooting standing with a pistol, I only load the pistol with 1 round to see what was going to be his reaction, if he's going to get scared, if he's going to drop the gun. You don't know what's going to happen at that point. You hope for the best, but some stuff happens. So you start with 1 load, 2 loads, and testing him in many situations. When you have a malfunction, how is he going to react? I sometimes I even manufactured the malfunctions to see if he was going to be able to hold the finger off the trigger and aiming downrange the way it's supposed to be. And that step by step is what makes the chance to be shooting USPSA today.
It's awesome. Martin, on your side of things too, like how important was that for you to prove that you were safe with firearms, that you could handle the firearms? What were you thinking of when you were going through that?
Well, for me, it was really important because I really wanted to shoot, and when my dad did say that I was safe enough with firearms, and I was like, yes, because it was really important to me, and I felt like, and I like shooting a lot. It's my passion, so I really wanted that approval, and I got it.
Awesome. Something else you talked about, and maybe you both can talk about it. The guns available for youth are so different, like shotguns have to be shortened with the stock, or like the right pistol grip. I know the young lady at the Gundies, right? She's using her middle finger and I think both fingers to pull the trigger. So what do you recommend, for parents to start out in actual rimfire, centerfire, pistols, rifles, whatever, for them?
Well, Martin started shooting the Walter P22 with these two fingers pulling the trigger. But the best gun that I found that it was a good grip for him, honestly, was the P22. When you don't want to spend something too much money, but it's reliable and it can shoot many distances. The gun is light, has a small barrel, 3.4 inches if I'm correct, and the gun is double action, so you can cock the hammer and shoot it. So the P22 is a good gun to start. And then when you want to start with something that is competitive, the Victory, the SW22 is really nice. Really nice. It's lightweight, and you have many options from Tandem Cross in grips, because Tandem Cross Quartzen has one wood grip that is a little big, but it's an option as well. And Tandem Cross has the high grips, which are made of rubber, more or less. Yeah.
And there's one, and the hybrid grip is like parts are rubber, like and another part is wood. But Tandem Cross also sells another grip that is full rubber, that everything is just rubber.
Okay.
So that capability of having many sizes of grips basically makes the SW22, in our opinion, suitable for many ages and hand sizes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was gonna say, I have the Airsoft Walther pistol in my drawer. That's what I use for some of my nephews to train on. The fun gun.
Yeah. It's a fun one. Yeah.
It is. So I skipped over this. So I kind of want to go back a little bit too. Yeah. So going from Guatemala to America too, like how difficult was that? I mean, being away from your family too, or separate for 2 years and then coming over. How was the shooting community too welcome, in America for you guys?
Coming from Guatemala to here, in terms of language, was easy because we already have to speak English. Well, with some defects, but more or less I can speak English. So it was fair enough. But the hardest part was being separated from Martin and my wife, because we are really close together, and I only come here some X amount of time, then going back. And he was so young, maybe his best years that I was like, he was a baby. He was like 2 or 3, 4 years, around
Those
there.
are fun.
3 years more. Yeah, that was hard. But the shooting community here is amazing. It's amazing. It's been a dream for us, this journey of shooting, because when you see everything from outside and you are not a shooter, a competitive shooter, you don't like guns, you can think that because it's shooting, the shooting community is going to be tough, stuff like that, some paradigm about it, but nothing to do with it. The shooting community is the nicest people that I have met everywhere. Everywhere. And it's amazing because you see how they support children here. It's on another level of kindness, in my opinion. They always see children and say, hey, he's a junior, how we can help him. By example, we were right now this weekend in Wyoming Antelope Club, and Dan Bernard was he's always super nice with Martin.
Love Dan. Yes.
Super nice with him. He's always, hey, what can I do for him? Go here, do this. Gorka, super nice too. Tandem Cross is nice. And when you start making the list, it's like all people want the juniors to be involved in the shit. Get involved. How can I help you? What can I do this? And as long as you deliver what they expect you, which is basically be a positive Second Amendment ambassador, they are really happy with that. So I don't think that in any country in the world, the shooting community is like here. I travel many countries in Europe to sports-related stuff, like Olympic Academy events and stuff like that. And it's nothing like this. Nothing like this. Not even in I like Guatemala, of course, it's a part of me, but it's not even like this. And Guatemala is not close to here in the shooting community. I mean, the people is nice, but they don't have the industry, the support behind the sport. And that's really important to have success in the sport.
Yeah. Now, do you guys plan to actually shoot any IPSC matches internationally, or if he qualifies in the future to do those?
Yes, IPSC is a really important part that we have to get into it. And actually, that's where the people itself of Guatemala is being nice too, because we reached to the president of the IPSC Association of Guatemala, and they said that they can shoot for Guatemala in the Pan American Games that they have in September.
Cool.
So he's shooting IPSC Pan American Games in September.
Oh my gosh. This September.
And yeah, this September.
That's like 2 months away to me, but okay, that's awesome.
Yeah. And a week after is the Nationals.
Yeah, then you have October. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Yeah. Wow. And so we're going to shoot 2 matches this year that are level 3. One that is called Copa Maya or Makeup. That one is in July. And it's level 3 as well of IPSC. And then the Pan American Games in September here. That is a level 3 match as well. And a week after, the Nationals.
Wow. Okay. Full schedule here.
Full schedule here.
Full schedule. Yeah. So Martin, tell me about what gun are you running now for USPSA? What division are you shooting? What's your belt setup? I'm just curious about like your gear and guns for that.
So right now, I'm shooting a Glock 17, which I felt like suited me a lot better than the PZ-20 because also the grip is smaller than even the small grip on the PZ-20. And
you're shooting carry optics?
Yeah, I'm shooting carry optics and
your rig set?
My rig set is Black Scorpion gear, which honestly I feel like is very good gear. It's very comfortable on me. My rig sets just fits me perfectly.
Very cool. And what's your red dot on that gun?
Oh, my red dot is a Romeo 1 Pro. That's my favorite red dot. And for me, I feel like the Romeo 3 Max is a little bit too big for me, but my dad likes the Romeo 3 Max. and once I grow older, well, I'll grow into the Romeo 3 Max.
Sure. So. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, cool. So why carry optics division? Did you choose that? Did the dot just kind of make sense coming from that background with Steel Challenge, or how'd you pick that?
Well, carry optics because honestly, it was a good background because, like you said, in Steel Challenge, I shot optics, I shot rimfire rifle open, rimfire pistol open. That was like my main thing. I was very fast and B class in both, and I just felt like it suited me better than any other division, so I shot that. And honestly, I like carry optics a lot.
Good, and it's fun division.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about the mentors too. Going back to that, Gorka and Manny and everybody. What are they teaching you? Like, what have you learned from them in terms of, is it your draw, grip, stage plan? Like, what all are they teaching you for the sports?
Well, that's a big question. And at the beginning, honestly, Gorka and Manny teach us everything from zero. They gave us some lessons. And then when you start like getting together all the basics, you start watching them. And just by watching them, you can learn a lot. The way that Gorka moves, the way that Manny shoots. And when you start getting like more into the sport, we shoot with the squad that we shoot on Wednesdays, we become friends. And there's a lot of GM people there. Like Anthony, for example, that he's GM, he's always on with us, like, hey, do this, do that. We recommend to do this. And they know that we want the advice. So that's really cool. There's Ross, Steve, Lloyd, Darren. Exactly. Darren has been super, super helpful too. He's always like, hey, you know what? You did that right now, and there's no biggie. But if you are in a level something, you might get in trouble because of this. And you're like, thanks, because otherwise I wouldn't know that. Yeah. So they are being key in everything. We started learning just to be 180 safe first.
Yeah.
With the 180 and all the stuff.
Yep.
And then how to draw, how to stand, how to reload. What was the proper technique to reload? Because then to reload on the run, because that's another important part. How to run backwards over your strong side, over your weak side, all that stuff. Yeah. Basically, which is when it comes to technique of shooting USPSA, it's everything Volusia County with Gorka, Manny, and all of them.
Wow. So Martin,
when we come here, I have never done IPSC before. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that'll all. Are you competing as well, Diego, or just Martin?
I am competing as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys, I'm assuming supportive for sure, but are y'all competitive together at all?
Yeah. Yeah.
What does
Yeah.
that look
Yeah.
like? What does that look like?
Well, I always love shooting. So when I had the chance and everything, I needed to understand what he needed to do to win. So the only way that I feel, at least in my opinion, that I could actually teach him what he needed to do, it was me doing it and getting better into it. So when I learn something new, I can say, listen, I learned this, but this worked for me. You can try it out and see if it works for you. And since I am the gunsmithing too, I do all the gunsmithing, I need to understand what's going on, you know? So it's good because I've been pushing up my level too. And as he goes up as well, I need to push forward so I can bring him because he always tries to bring, hi, I almost got you that one. He's always like that. Let's check. And yeah.
No, I love it.
He always tries to get me. But I try to get better and better and better so I can pull him with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that makes it fun, and to share the passion is important too. Because my wife is in the Air Force right now. So she's stationed in Virginia. Well, she's stationed in Maryland, in Andrews.
Right now, she's there, and you're
Right
there.
now. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, your family is strong. You have like the strongest family I've ever met.
Oh, thank you, Kenzie.
Thank you.
It's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because we are, like I told you, we used to be together all the time. But at the beginning, I was the one that wanted to go in the Air Force. Mm-hmm. But since all my process of coming here and all was taking some time, the recruiter told me, look, if you are in the bus going to basic training before you turn 40, one day you can go. Wow. But if you're not, I'm not sure if you can make it. Wow. And I was like, I didn't know at the moment when I'm going to have my green card on my hand. Mm-hmm. So Valerie was like, listen, I already have it. And you know that's a goal that I have too. Will you support me? Mm-hmm. And I was not even sure if I was going to be able to do it at the end. Now I know, and now I know that I was going to be able, but at that moment I wouldn't. I didn't. So I say, okay, I will support you, and you have the right to be happy and achieve your personal goals too. Wow. So she joined the Air Force. And at the moment he was shooting, but he was not that serious as he is right now. I mean, you knew that he was going somewhere, but it was an early stage. It was too soon to tell. Especially when you're dealing with a kid, he can change his mind at some point.
So fast.
Yeah. Exactly. So then everything started getting more serious because her process was like a year. It took her like a year since she come with me to the recruitment office, since she actually went to basic training. Mm-hmm. When she left, she was, okay, what are we going to do? I'm stationed in Andrews and you guys are here in Florida. In Virginia, it's nice. There's a beautiful place and all, but it's not even close to how many matches we have here in Florida and all the stuff. Or the weather in winter. We don't stop in winter. There's no winter here. We just go straight.
It's just a little bit cold in the morning, and then by the time it hits 9 o'clock, it's already steaming hot.
Oh, hot. Yeah.
So we talk, and we decided to give it a try and stay, both of us here, and she in Virginia, and we decided to stay like that after a while. Because it was the best for the sport and for the goals that we have as a family. Not at the family itself, but like the goals. I mean, what we had a lot of consideration when we decided was we come here to succeed, to do something special, to make it count. So it was the best decision in that area. And when she has a chance, she comes here, or we go there for a week or two. Get like a break from the big matches and stuff like that, and that's more or less how we live.
Wow! And did your dad come over as well from Guatemala?
Sorry?
Did your dad come over from Guatemala as well, or is he still there?
They come here to visit us, but they live over there.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, your family is all over. I can't imagine.
Yeah. It's crazy because Valerie is always like cooking for us, and she's a great mom and all, so she always takes care of him, his clothes and all the stuff, and all of a sudden I'm alone. And I was like, oh my God, what I'm going to do? It was the first, I don't know, maybe 4-6 months, they were a disaster. I was exhausted just by doing the basic stuff but at the end, as everything you more comfortable and knowing how to do. And yeah.
Oh yeah, not easy running a household.
No, not easy doing the household. Not easy doing the household. Trying to work for Amo, and then of course you need to pay attention to what he's going through. At least in school, I don't have any like. I don't get into it because they talk on FaceTime like for hours, and they both together do the homework.
Cool.
So that's good.
Cool.
That's good.
So yeah, what is Martin's rules to compete? Is it grades, homework, anything around the house? Like what do you ask of him in order to be able to go compete?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because when the pandemic hit it, he was already a straight A's student.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what make it hard not to support him because he was already a great student. Mm-hmm. Then every single one were moved to homeschooling, and he was still good. And then when there was a time that they can come back to regular school, but then we decided to move to virtual school. So he can like have more time to train and matches and more freedom, right? He has to pay with homework, but anyway, at least you can make your own schedule. So the school is a must in his contract with Tandem Cross. They have to be at least B students to actually be sponsored.
I like that.
So that's great. Yeah, he's a straight A's student, so in that area we're good. As long as he sticks with straight A's and he helps me with what I ask, he can compete.
I like that.
Yeah.
So
my favorite subject is math.
Me too. I love math.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yes,
I feel like you kind of know, like, what do you want to do with your future in terms of education or school, or do you have a dream job, or like, what do you want to do, or do you know?
What I want to be is honestly my dream job is shooting.
Yeah.
But in terms of studies and all that stuff, I want to be really good at math because I feel like that's just an area that I have to be really good in shooting too, because it helps me multiply my scores and all that stuff, scoring, and I feel like just math, it really just brings me joy because for me, math is really easy. I can just break it down on a whiteboard or a piece of paper and I'm good. Sometimes I don't even have to do that. I just do it in my mind and I'm good. It's just fast for me.
That's really cool. Let's see, Martin, do you dry fire during the week? And then do you do live fire? What does your practice actually look like?
Well, yeah, I do dry fire. I try to do dry fire every day. What I do for dry firing is I usually do 3 or 2 guns. For 3 guns every day. When I have the time, I do 3 guns, and what I do is 1 hour air pistol. Like it's different from rapid fire pistol. It's like precision. So it's like my dad said. There's a 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. So I practice that for better trigger work, and then I also do steel challenge pistol, 22 pistol, and then after that, at the end, I close with 9mm. And in our living room we have a big gigantic rug. That's where I do all my dry fire and all that stuff. So I have a lot of room to do drills, start in the middle, start in the left corner, all that stuff.
Cool. I didn't ask you what trigger is in your Glock.
I have a Johnny Glock trigger. It's the lightest trigger you can find for a Glock.
Yep. Morgan Leonhardt runs that as well, if you know who that is.
Yes. Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, actually, Martin, you don't have the lightest trigger in your Glock. I haven't told you this because I don't want your mind to play games, but you have an IPSC trigger pull weight in your Glock. So that's a 3.5 striker pull weight in your Glock.
But for me, it's
that's
still
not the lightest. Yeah.
When you get older, you can go lower. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. But we met Johnny in Epic Shoot of Big Daddy Unlimited.
2021.
Yeah, last year's Epic Shoot, and he was really kind and all. So we talked to him and all, and he fixed a good trigger for him. So that's why he uses on his Glock.
That's really cool. Now let's talk about sponsors. So what all did they do for you, and even Martin, from your perspective, how much do they support you, and how much do you want to do for those brands to keep them front and center in a lot of shooters' minds, because they do a lot for the sport.
Well, all of my sponsors mean a lot, and I do what I do for keeping my sponsors is a lot. Just scores, practice, practice, practice. Get the results, and they are really important to me, and they all do a lot for me. I'm really happy with my sponsors right now.
What about dad and mom's credit card?
That sponsor is for granted. He doesn't take it too much in consideration.
I had to ask that. Oh man. Actually too, and Martin, after USPSA, are there any other sports or stuff that you want to try in the future? Is there anything like gotten your curiosity?
You?
One thing that I would like to try in the future when I get a little bit older is 3-gun, but I would also like to try 2-gun. Those things I would like to try.
Mm-hmm.
2-gun because I've seen videos of it. It seems interesting, and 3-gun, it's shotgun, rifle, and pistols. And shotgun is a little bit, it kicks a little bit for me. So when I get a little bit older, I'll try it. I actually shot a shotgun once. Remember Big Daddy Epic Shoot 2021? Joe Farewell actually showed me how to do it.
I love Joe. That's really cool. Yeah. 2-gun, I think you'd be really good at because of that background in rimfire optics. PCC is really fun and lightweight too. So I could see that for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks. Let me see what other my questions were. Okay. So then shooting dynamics when traveling, you guys are traveling in cars. I'm assuming flying to Colorado, I would guess. Or carry optics. No, that's in CMP, right?
Yeah, CMP. Yeah.
Okay. So where all have you traveled?
Well, where we've traveled is we've traveled to Georgia from Virginia, which is like an 8-hour drive, more or less 5 hour.
Yeah, Georgia like 4 hours.
Yeah, from Virginia, and
Virginia like 12.
Yeah. Florida to Virginia is 12 hours. We've done that. That trip was brutal. That trip was very brutal. The day after, my legs were hurting. Well, yeah, my legs were hurting because of sitting. Yeah. We've gone to Tampa. Where else?
We have gone to Texas, to Balde for the Gandhis.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
So who nominated you? Do you know?
No, we have no idea.
I don't either. It's driving me nuts. I tried to get Will to tell me, and he wouldn't.
Yeah, it was crazy because I saw that you could nominate shooters, and I was going to nominate him, and I was like, I don't know, it didn't feel good, so I didn't do it. When we found out that he was nominated, I was super happy and so good that I didn't do it.
Right,
because it meant a lot.
Yeah, it's validating that people are seeing him, they can resonate with him, and they're proud of him. I mean, at least from my side, I felt the same way. I'm like, okay, there's somebody out there that is seeing, like the work that you're putting in. So it's like validating that. And it's also showing you like, you're not kind of running around being stupid. I don't know. For female on my side, it was really cool of like, oh, I'm making a difference. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. That's really rewarding for all the work that it takes. And even that he doesn't won, but he was in the top 4. So that's really great. For a 9-year-old, it's really great.
Yeah. Martin, do you want to talk about that experience? Like, did you shoot any of the full autos or like new guns that you had never shot before? And then what was it like pulling the cord on the tank?
Well, first of all, I didn't shoot a lot of new guns. I shot the Helker and Coke MP7, which you don't get a chance to shoot because it's a military gun. So full auto. First I shot it semi-auto, then I moved it to full auto. The shots went by in like 2 seconds. I swear I didn't even feel them. And then I also shot like a golf ball launcher. I shot
the tank.
Yeah, the tank. It was very fun pulling the cord. I also shot what else did I shoot? I also shot a 22 long rifle gun, which had a scope and was how do I say it? Lever action.
Lever action.
Yes. And we shot it at some cars, and it was honestly very fun, the whole experience.
Yeah.
I love it. And the minute before the tank, there was just a ton of shooting. It was crazy.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But Martin, do you realize the opportunity that you have at 9, almost 10 years old, and how few people get that opportunity?
I want to know that answer too.
Yeah, yeah.
More or less, yes, because not many people get all the opportunities that I do, and I'm just very happy that a lot of people believe in me, and I'm just very happy to be in the industry and be a big part in it. Keep on shooting.
I love it. I'm proud of you. I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
You're putting in the work too.
Thank you.
I don't know many 9 or 10-year-olds. I don't think I was doing that at 9 or 10. Like, incredible.
No, me neither.
Not at all. Not even. Well, what are your goals for the future, Martin? Whether this year, next year, like what do you want to do in carry optics and moving forward in USPSA?
Well, short. Well, to say short, medium terms like that, I want to be my dad. One day, I want to be my dad. And well, long-term goals, I want to become world champion one day, carry optics world champion.
Mhm.
That's my main big goal.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Oh, I do want to ask about social media. Okay, so social media can be positive, it can be negative, and it can probably kind of honestly be a little bit scary, especially having a younger kid on social media and stuff. So how do you guys as a team manage that, post positive things, and make sure like, you're keeping some of the more, I guess, personal information off social media?
Taking care of personal information in social media these days is hard, especially when you want personally to go out. Because our goal has always been to be exposed and expose him to the world, so he can actually, the sponsors be happy, he can build a name for himself, and sometimes there's nasty comments that's impossible to don't have them. But I have been teaching him since he was like 3 to understand that he's not going to like, nobody's gonna like him. I mean, there's some people that you're not gonna never gonna like him. So there, I always tell my wife and Martin, not even Jesus was liked by everybody. So of course you're not gonna do it. So when somebody writes something that is not nice, I just say, look, if this guy took the time to watch the content and actually write back something that is not nice, you're not the problem.
Nope.
He is the problem, and it's his reality, and maybe he's speaking from the pain.
Yeah.
Maybe he wanted to do something related to what you're doing, he couldn't do it, and maybe he's writing that. That's an option, and there's like another 25 options of why he couldn't write that stuff. So what I just try to do and teach him is to read it but ignore it instantly, and try to be like not too vulnerable to good stuff too, because it's really easy to change like the passion for cockiness, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you start seeing, so, oh, you're so good, you're the best and all, you need to acknowledge it, but you need to discard it easy, because otherwise you start getting comfortable when you are, and you're not going to go up. So good or bad, you just kind of read it, enjoy it if it's enjoyable, and move on, to try to have the mindset in the right things where you want to go.
Yeah.
And understand that if you want to go public, that's part of the game.
It is. It is. Is there anything, about social media that you would recommend for other parents, again, with kids, whether they're in different sports or if they do get in the shooting sports, how do you balance that information that you've got out there and wanting to be a public figure? Or have you figured it out? I don't know that I have yet either.
Well, there's always a price to pay. If and it all depends, as a parent, which price do you want to pay. If your kid doesn't go public, the kid has to pay the price of not having sponsors or any people that knows what he's capable of. That's the price of trying to keep him in safe, for calling it so, because that's not my point of view, but that's the price. If you go public, the price is that many people are going to watch him or her and actually know how great her is, but you have to pay the price that you're exposed to
bad people, haters, and all that.
Criticism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it just depends what do you want to pay, but you need to understand that even if you cannot go public but expect to be protective, and go public but expect not to have the comments, you need to choose your poison.
Yep.
Yeah, because and if you are serious about a sport, you need to go public. There's no other way around.
No.
These days it's like that. By example, when I used to live in Guatemala, my social media was all private. I had like in Instagram maybe 50 friends. It was just like the really, really private. But right now, you move here. I want to do something for him. He wants to do some more stuff. So everything is open. There's no privacy anymore.
Yeah.
You can go to my Facebook or whatever. Even my Facebook that is supposed to be private is public at the end. Every post is public.
Yeah.
So yeah, choose your poison. And if you really want to make your kids succeed, you need to be public and pay the price because you always pay it even if you don't realize.
Yep. Yep. I think my last question, I guess for both of you, but I'll ask Martin first. Martin, what is it like traveling and shooting with your dad?
Awesome. Honestly, it's very awesome to travel and shoot with my dad. And we both always have fun on road trips, very long road trips. Especially, we always listen to music. We always talk, talk about how I did, what I can get better at, and honestly, it's just very enjoyable for me.
That's amazing. Diego, your turn.
Well, that I get to know him in a perspective that I don't know how to call it, but when you are like in your most vulnerable part of after driving 6 hours and stuff like that, it's like you're just you. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I get to know him in his most vulnerable part, and also I like to teach him new music because most of the kids doesn't know about 80s music stuff like that, which is awesome. And the other that well, actually yesterday that we were driving to Tampa, I started playing some 80s music, but the ones that are good. And he was like, "Where you found that music?" I didn't found it. It was over there all the time. And he started, okay, this is this artist, this is Poison, this is whatever, this is English. Now let's move to 80s Spanish. You can go with this, 90s Latin, 90s rock, and stuff like that. 90s hip hop, 90s rap, and it's a lot of fun teaching him the music. That's what I enjoy the most on road trips.
I like that. I like that. Do you have any hobbies outside of shooting, by the way?
No, well, I used to have my hobby was riding motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my hobby since when I quit shooting, I kind of moved to motorcycles instead of shooting.
Okay.
So when we moved here, I decided to buy a bike and ride with some friends that I made here, and it was fun. But there's no time for riding bikes anymore. There's no time. We have matches on Saturday, sometimes Saturday and Sunday, like this weekend.
Mhm.
So when I have some time, like for really that I have time, I just want to take a rest.
Yep.
I don't feel like riding 6-7 hours the way it's supposed to. But yeah, that could be that is my hobby. But I enjoy guns so much that every time that I have, I just take them all apart, start cleaning them, doing research and stuff like that. And no, it's guns and motorcycles. But I like motorcycles and I sell motorcycle stuff, clothing.
Okay.
But my hobby is the guns. Guns is right now it's my life.
Yeah.
I am with guns all the time and cleaning them and learning about it, dry firing, putting him to check him, recording videos, uploading videos to social media, trying to watch how we shot this weekend, these matches. Look, we can improve here. We should change mag over there. Your feet work should be this way. And when you actually are in all that situations, time just flies.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You went from shooting sports to motorcycles and thought that'll be safe.
Yeah.
And then Martin,
motorcycles are.
Martin's gonna be like, "Hey, can I ride motorcycles?" You're like, "No."
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, actually, when he was younger, I wanted to ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
It was cars,
road
okay,
racing.
so motorcycles. Okay.
First was motorcycles because he always wake up with me at 7 a.m. to watch the MotoGP every Sunday. Every time that it was a match, a competition, he woke up with me. We watched all the races and all the stuff. So I was like, okay, maybe you want to race. He was like, no, I don't want to break any bones.
Smart kid.
No.
Smart kid.
Yeah, and I really push him to I don't know, to motocross stuff like that. He never wanted it. Yeah. Karting, he was okay. I can be more safe in karting, but I think that he didn't like it at the end because one time he had a crash, and I don't know what he hit because there was a lot of dust and stuff like that. But his helmet had a huge like hit here.
And I think this is what happened. Well, what happened was like basically I was on a really long straight on the track. I was just racing and for some reason I don't know what's happened. But then my cart started going out of control. I couldn't control it, and then it went into the grass, and it did a little barrel roll.
Oh. That's
But
scary.
luckily, nothing happened to me. It was just my helmet that got a little bit scratched.
Yeah,
Lucky, yeah. Now, Martin,
yeah. But it was crazy because he was always, I don't like to be here. It's
Yeah,
hot,
the
stuff like
suit,
that.
you know.
The suit is, but if you go to a shooting range, it's even worse. There's
Same thing.
also heat and all that stuff.
Yeah,
but
but
in
you're
the
not
shooting
wearing
range, he doesn't seem to care. You know.
Yep. That's when you know you have a hobby, is when you don't care and you show up. Yeah, rain, snow, heat. I've done it all. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
We've shot rain, cold, sunny, super sunny.
Yeah, only not snow.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Yeah, I was gonna ask Martin, are you helping Dad clean the guns? Are you learning about how they function and stuff?
Yes, always when we go to the range, you know, and the match, he always teaches me about something like inside the gun, you know, how to fix it. So I sometimes ask questions on how it works, like for example on my Glock, I actually did not know there was a trigger. Well, how do you call it? Again?
Trigger bar.
Trigger bar, yes. And so on my Glock, I was pulling the trigger one day and I noticed it because the slide is a little bit separated from the grip. So I was like, what is this? It moves when I pull the trigger. And my dad is like, the trigger bar. Oh.
That's cool though. Learning about that at an early age is really neat.
Yes. I've been trying for him to learn that stuff, but I've been focusing more of on dry firing for him. I teach him, but just a little bit. I'm going to start teaching him more, but I want him to actually develop muscles because since he's a kid, his movements are kid like. You know what I mean? When he's running and stuff like that, you can tell that he's a kid.
Yeah.
And I want him to well, according to his body and the way that is possible, to actually to try to run a little bit more like a grown up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To actually try to be faster and start going up in classes in USPSA, and it's working because he's dry firing right now at least 4 to 5 times a week, running side to side and forward, backward, strong side, weak side, and his running has improved pretty much in a little period of time because when you realize we started shooting all in USPSA since November and we are ending March. So basically he has 5 months shooting USPSA. It's not that much. And when you see a video of November and you see a video from yesterday, by example, you can tell the difference, a lot of difference.
It's really
so
cool.
Thank you, Kenzie. So yeah, when I guess next month I'm going to start teaching him how to really disassemble all the gun and cleaning them and explaining the springs, what this spring does and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We need to dive in more into it.
It's addictive. It's really fun to learn though.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
Well, guys, is there anything else that you want to say or, talk about?
Well, the story with Brian.
Oh, yeah.
Brian was super cool with Martin because we met him. His first match was in October 2020.
20.
So he met him in a steel challenge in Volusia.
Maybe
November, let's say 2 months after he started shooting. And he just got with Valerie. He talked to Valerie and said, "Hey, have this and give him this for Christmas." And he gave him a pair of Hunter Safety Gold. Yeah, and when we saw him again, if he needs prescription or whatever, just let me know. And that's how Brian's sponsorship. It was really cool, really nice guy, Brian. And it was a really sweet part of him to actually believe in Martin in such an early stage.
Yeah.
Gives
you confidence.
Also, Also with Tandem Cross, we made we recorded a video. We pretended to having an interview.
Yeah, like a talk show.
Like a talk show, yeah. And we sent it to the application for the sponsorship, and they actually were really happy. And they were like, "You gotta watch this." They were telling me that they were surprised of the way that we decided to send the application in the form of video.
Like it.
Yeah, that was
cool.
interesting. Then Brian and I'm looking Tandem Cross was very nice. Yeah.
Do you want to list out too the sponsors that support both of you or Martin or whatever?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Also, Big Daddy Unlimited. Big Daddy Unlimited is right now a huge part of us.
Yes.
We met Denny also in Volusia in matches, and Denny Chapman, and then we have the opportunity to meet the owners of Big Daddy Unlimited, which is Tony and Sherry McKnight. They are really, really nice people too. They really love Martin. And Sherry, when he met Martin, she was like, "I'm going to sponsor him." And I was like, "Are you serious?" Yes, I want to sponsor him, and I want to be a part of his process and in his journey, and I will be happy to. We started talking and all this stuff, and they are really nice sponsors of us. They actually support me too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they are really cool, really nice. So overall, the sponsors are Volusia County Gun Club, Hunters HD Gold, Tandem Cross, AKT1 Sport, Big Daddy Unlimited, Black Scorpion, and Vision 2020, which is my dad business.
Hey, count. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you, Casey. AKT1 was a cool story too. We met them in Epic Shoot 2021 as well.
We've met a lot of people there.
That was the spot. Yeah.
Yeah. And she was called Blair. She works at AKT1 Sport. And she was like, "Who are you?" And I was, Martina. He was introducing himself and all the stuff. "Do you have a new protection sponsorship?" And he was like, "No." "Okay, you have now one. Have it."
That's
really
awesome.
cool. Really
That's fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
We have been blessed with a lot of nice people like you, by example, taking your time and your resources to actually have a USPSA article about him, which we really appreciate the opportunity, Kenzie. Thank you so much.
Of course. I'm excited. I'm proud. You're going to kick my butt sooner than your dad too. So get ready for that. I'm just as competitive. I have a friend that he's totally my brother, and he's been shooting PCC for a while. He knows who he is. And I am literally like couple percentage away from him now in the last 2 matches. And I don't shoot very often. And I took like 4 months off, and I'm like, bro, it's coming. It's coming.
Nice. Yeah. That's it. Yeah.
It's fun. And then last final question. What are y'all's social media handles for people to follow you?
Champion Shooter 1 in Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. Perfect.
That is Dr. Guns 30.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. All right, guys.
30.
Anything else?
No, that's it. Thank you so much, Kenzie, for having us and your time again and the opportunity. I know this is really valuable for us, and thank you is not enough, but thank you.
No, you guys are doing all the things. I like telling people stories, so I'm excited. So, for everyone that's going to read this and listen or what have you, go follow him, watch his journey, and I'm excited to see what this year, next year brings. So, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the nationals are going to be exciting, and it's going to be his first time, of course, in nationals. 3 days, 18 stages, more or less. It's going to be challenging, and it's just a week after Pan American Games. But we're really excited. We're really excited about it.
That'll test you, but you got to get the first one out of the way, and I think you're going to do better than you think.
Thank you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Thanks for listening to the Reticle Up podcast. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Follow along on social media at Reticle Up or 3 Gun Kenzie.